Elsewhere, Marseille picked up a 2-0 win at home to Salzburg in the other semi-final. Goals there from Florian Thauvin and Clinton Unji. Salzburg hit the post later, and that could have been very different. We'll show you action from that game a little later. But if you're an Arsenal fan, one apiece probably feels like a defeat.
Certainly after the first half performance, it's certainly advantaged Simeone and Atletico. And we said at half-time we wondered how costly them missed chances in the first half were going to be. Well, now we know. Very, very costly. You've got to take advantage of the opportunities that you create, certainly at this level, and certainly in a semi-final of a cup at home. You've got to take advantage. You've got to take advantage to Atletico Madrid's ground. You've got to, be clinical, and that's something that Arsenal wins. I thought second half, Arsenal were better. I thought they competed more in the middle of the park. I thought they won more balls in the middle of the park and put Atletico under immense pressure in the second half, and you just felt that goal was coming, and it did. Lacazette got on the score sheet, but it was such bad defending, Andy, for the equaliser to let Griezmann in. And
I just wonder, from an Arsenal point of view, Jason, maybe an obvious question, but was that avoidable?
Very much so, Andy. And as you can see here, we've freezed it at the point where Lacazette, he will feel he was fouled. He went to ground very, very easy. I think the referee got that right, that decision. I don't think it was a foul. You are your most vulnerable when you are in possession. And if you look there, you'd think that everything was okay. Obviously, Lacazette is isolated here.
Is that Lacazette's Welbeck, isn't it?
Sorry, is that Welbeck?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, Welbeck here. Sorry, that's Welbeck, yeah. But if you look here, this is where the action takes place within seconds of Welbeck going on the floor. Here you can see Arsenal just pushing out. First of all, they need to get out a lot quicker. They need to push up onto the halfway line. They need to squeeze it there. The ball's a good way into the Atletico half here. So they should be pushed up. Mustafi, I have no idea what he's doing in this position. And as you can see, as we run it on in a minute, it ends up being Bellerin who ends up playing him on. He stops, as you can see there.
Did you want him 10 yards further forward, the fullback?
Yeah, they're squeezing out now. Mustafi plays up play. Now, if we just freeze it there, it's Bellerin and Mustafi who are playing him on. Koscielny, he's in a decent position if Mustafi is in here. He's too far away from him. He can't affect it at all. Neither can Bellerin. He needs to be tucked in a little bit more here. He needs to be tucked in. That is basically, as the ball comes over his head, that becomes a one-on-one situation, because these two players are actually out of position.
And Griezmann is so alert, he spots the danger straight away.
Straight away. And there you go. It becomes a one-on-one. Koscielny should do better. He should show more strength. Misses out. Mustafi slips and goes over. And Griezmann puts it in. But it was so avoidable.
So frustrating if you're an Arsenal fan. So it feels like a defeat, I imagine, if you're Arsene Wenger. Actually, Arsenal did go in front.
But in all honesty, he didn't have a great deal to do. Welbeck, in all honesty, when you think of the numerical advantage that Arsenal did, they didn't really punish Atletico Madrid. It was down to some really, really good defending and some really poor forward play from some of the Arsenal players. But you're not going to argue with him, really, are you? But I think he was playing more peacemaker than anything. I think Simeone was, remonstrating far too much. But I can understand his frustration. I thought the referee in the first minute of the game, he really should have just give him a warning, just calmed it all down. But he was too quick to get the yellow card.
Would you have given the second yellow? It was a straight red, though.
I wouldn't have done. I would have given him a yellow card for that. I think that was a definite yellow card. I thought the first one, it was his first challenge. It's a slippy pitch. The tensions are high. Everybody comes out at 100 mile an hour. He had fallen just a couple of seconds before that. He lost his foot and he tried to get up and overstretched. I think it would have been easier and a much better decision for the referee to have just said, let's just calm down, give a free kick and let it carry on. He didn't. He gave the yellow card. It was a stupid yellow card for the second, and then the referee had to brandish the red card, so that was the outcome.
Plenty more analysis and reaction from the Emirates to come. Very well handled, but you can tell they are absolutely gutted.
You can see the disappointment in their answers and in their faces, because they knew there was an opportunity there. Certainly when the Atletico team went down to 10 men, you'd think obviously it's advantage Arsenal, but the quality that Arsenal had on the pitch, you'd feel they would have they would have done better.
But to concede in that manner, they've done so well, they had to work so hard to get in front, then to concede such a sloppy goal. And with Griezmann, he's...
No chance. And, obviously, when jobs like Arsenal come up, his name always seems to be in the frame, doesn't it, when a big job comes available?
Do you think he was close?
I don't know whether he's the right fit for Arsenal. He's very defensive. His style of play, the Arsenal wouldn't be accustomed to that. Arsene Wenger teams have always had that touch of flair. If you look even in this modern day team, this team that's playing now, you've got Ozil, Wilshere, Lacazette, Welbeck's in there, Aubameyang as well. In teams gone by, you've had Pires, Ljungberg, Anelka. The list goes on. Henry. He doesn't really play like that. He doesn't really play with that team. I know you could say Griezmann's in there, but he doesn't really have that flair, Simeone. And plus, he signed a deal till 2022. So I really think suggests that he's ruled himself out of the job. I think someone more of the ilk of maybe an Enrique that's managed a flair side like Barcelona would probably suit it and probably be my favourite to take over. Although Arsene Wenger is pointing fingers at a past player, so maybe Vieira or Arteta might be in for a show.
We'll find out very shortly. As for Diego Simeone, well, he owes his goalkeeper Jan Oblak a good pat on the back, and he's been speaking to beIN Sports' Sami Samud.
First half that they should have capitalised on, a bit of good goalkeeping as well, but also really, really poor finishing and falling to players that you'd expect to do better with the ball. Lacazette, 2 great opportunities, Welbeck, and obviously Wilshere had an opportunity with the header which he should have gone back across. So I wouldn't point the finger at Aaron Ramsey for the miss in the second half.
A goalless draw, of course, sends Madrid through. However, Arsenal don't need to look too far to see a side who have gone to the Wanda Metropolitano. Well, not many have done it, but Chelsea.
Yeah, no one's beat them in the league this season. And like we've mentioned a couple of times, only conceded 18 goals. They make it very, very difficult for teams at the Metropolitano. But like you rightly mentioned, Chelsea have gone there and won 2-0, albeit in a last-minute winner. And probably against the run of play as well. I thought Atletico played pretty well against Chelsea, but like you've just mentioned, it can be done.
And Arsenal will have to do it if they want a place in this year's Europa League final in Lyon in just under 3 weeks' time. More big football coming your way here on beIN Sports this weekend. Inter up against Juventus, the Italian title race wide open after Napoli's win last weekend. Celtic can clinch the title against their great rivals Rangers in the Old Firm. You can see that with us here on beIN Sports. Manchester United against Arsenal used to be the big one in the Premier League. No prizes at stake for these two, but still a big occasion. Fiorentina, Napoli, and then Deportivo, Barca, as Barca tries to clinch a 7th title in 9 years. A point. We'll see that one completed. That's our game on the club this weekend. And then, in 49 days' time, the World Cup kicks off in Russia. If you subscribe now, and do that before the end of this month, if you're not already a subscriber, we'll give you the World Cup for free here with us on beIN Sports. Former Ireland and Liverpool midfielder Jason McAteer has been with us all night long here, watching Arsenal and Atletico finish one apiece at the Emirates. For so long it looked as if Alexandre Lacazette's goal would send Arsenal to Madrid with a lead. But that goal from Antoine Griezmann means it's all square.
Atletico level.
He'd been kept relatively quiet as well until this point.
Yeah, well, obviously with the numerical advantage, to get Griezmann on the ball was very, very difficult. But they managed to do it. And, like I just mentioned, it was very, very poor defending from Arsenal. As you can see, it's just a ball over the top. Obviously, he tries to get in between the two centre-halves and the full-back Bellerin, and he manages to do that. And he takes advantage. There it should have been cleared from Koscielny, and he takes advantage of Mustafi falling on the floor, and a player of that calibre is not going to miss that opportunity, and he draws them level. And like I said, it's advantage Atletico Madrid.
Look what it means to Diego Simeone. Absolutely delighted. Maybe a touch aggressive in his celebration, but they're dancing in the Spanish end.
Second half, Arsenal started very, very well, and they were winning the ball in these areas a lot more. They penned Atletico in.
27 passes in the build-up to this.
Yeah, they just stayed patient. They moved the players about. They went backwards. They drew a few of the Atletico players out. You can see him trying to close down there, put the press on. The tackle comes in. He rides that, Lacazette. Xhaka just keeps the ball moving, they keep turning the ball over, eventually goes wide. Monreal puts the ball in, it's still not cleared, but this is where they picked up the pieces a lot better in the second half. They win it again there on the edge of the box. Wiltshire then gets on a ball, plays a lovely 1-2, and he just stands a lovely ball up, and Lacazette rises to the back post and gets his header down. And you felt it might just open up the way Arsenal were playing, and they're getting in front, giving them that confidence. It might just open it up where they go on and score 2 or 3. It wasn't to be the case, and obviously Atletico get back into it. But I've got to be honest, I thought it was a brilliant performance from the Atletico Madrid players. I mean, it was easy for them to, after the first 10 minutes when Valsalco got sent off, it would have been easy to throw the towel in and, sort